products like SAP, Oracle, and you have JD Edwards. So like that, there are so many products. But out of all the products available under ERP, SAP is the number one because of the seamless integration of different modules. So I will explain you what are those modules. So that's why SAP is so successful. So it was in Germany where the journey started in 1970s. So you can imagine all the major companies across the globe, they all run on SAP. You name any top level company or mid-range company. So most of the companies, you can say 80 to 90% of the global companies, they do run on SAP because of the different features available in SAP. Okay. So our main competitor is Oracle, but so they do have only few products to offer compared to what SAP can offer to the customers. Okay. So you are in a good product. You are going to learn about a module or about a product which is highly recognized in the global market. You go to any country, whether it is highly developed or underdeveloped or developing countries, you will find SAP jobs. Okay. So that's the background of SAP. As the name suggests, ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. So whenever we are discussing about SAP or the modules, different modules, you just think of your favorite company, like how they are going to produce their products. So what kind of process would be there in that particular company? So be it a car manufacturers or a television manufacturers, or refrigerator manufacturers, or pharma industry, whatever may be the industry which you like. So you can just imagine whatever I am going to say the concept. So you can just correlate that concept with the industry what you like. Okay. Then coming into SAP, what is full form of SAP? It is systems, applications, and products in the database, right? So that is the full form of SAP. So sometimes we tend to forget the basics of some of the subjects. So some people, if you ask what is full form of SAP, even though they are real timers, they may not be in a position to tell the exact full form of SAP. So it's better to know the basics first. Okay. So systems, applications, and products in the database. That is SAP. So what are the applications and products that we will be knowing during this course? Okay. So in SAP, so you all might be knowing by now that there are different modules available. Okay. So what are the modules? So if you imagine any manufacturing company, so you'll be having different departments come together in order to produce a product, right? So those departments in the general terminology, we are calling them as modules in SAP. Okay. So like you say the procurement. So when you want to produce any end product, you may be requiring some raw materials or spare parts, or there are so many components which needs to be assembled in order to get a end product, right? So you need to have the procurement of all those components, or you may be producing those components within your company, right? So the department which will be taking care of the procurement of different components which requires to produce your end product, so that department is called as, in general terminology, it is procurement department, but in SAP we are calling that department as material management. Okay. So in future, maybe 1 or 2 days later, we'll be calling them in short. So instead of saying every time material management, I will be calling it as MM, meaning to say material management. Okay. And then production. So once the components are ready, you need to produce the end product. So there is a process wherein the production team will produce the product. So that department is called as production planning team, or the module itself is called as production planning. So they will be responsible to know, so what is the current balance of the product what they are manufacturing. So based on the demand, how much they need to produce the product, right? So how much is still available in the company. So all that they will check, and then they will start producing the product. So that module is called as PP module, production plan. Then once the product is ready, the department which is required to sell those products is called as sales and distribution module, sales team. So basically the sales team's responsibility is to sell the end product or the product which is getting readied by the company. So they have to sell that to the customers. So that department or the module in SAP is called as sales and distribution. Okay. And of course, the finance department, you take any department wherein the financials are involved. So they have to finally get that information into the finance module. So that module is called as finance and controlling. So there are two different modules wherein the MBA finance or MCOM, BCOM or CA, ICWS, they will be eligible to work on that particular module, finance and control. So finance will capture all the transactional data which is happening in the company, and CO will be taking care of the product costing, like when you are producing a product, so at what price the product should be sold. Okay, so they need to consider how many people are working, how much material is getting consumed. So considering all that, they will be fixing the price of the product. Okay, and also the reporting aspect. So everything, every report related to the company, so will be taken care by the CO guys. So they are called as controlling module. So in short, they will be called as FICO, finance and controlling. Okay, and you have HCM module, human capital management. Every enterprise requires so many employees who will be working together, right? So from different positions, can be labor, engineers, junior engineers, senior engineers, or program managers, project managers, consultants. You name any industry, every different industry will have different positions. So they're all resources. So how do they maintain these resources is the responsibility of HR module. You can call both, the two names are there. One is human resource HR module or HCM, human capital management. So they will be handling the payrolls of the employees, the maintenance of the employee data, leave management, loans. So you name everything. So all the HR related activities will be taken care by HCM, human capital management. And you have plant maintenance. In order to produce any product, you may be requiring a manufacturing plant, right? So every plant will have different kinds of equipments. So some might be very expensive in nature, so some might be normal nature. But you need to make sure the maintenance of these equipments are smooth, so that your production process is not getting impacted. So if any breakdown or shutdown of the plant takes place, your entire production process gets impacted. So they don't want to see that happening. So that's why, so they will be, the plant maintenance team will be handling the maintenance aspects of the different equipments which are part of your Padma. Okay, and finally our module, project system module. So any project which is going to take place in the companies, so be it construction of a new building, or installation of a new equipment in the company, or repairs to the major equipment. Okay, or you are serving the customers, so by developing a project or producing a machine. So all that is part of project system. So any project, whether it is small or big or medium, so you can handle the concept of projects through our project system module. So why I am telling about different modules in SAP? Because project system module is one such module having a highest integration with different modules of the SAP. Okay, so all these modules which I told you, material management, production planning, human capital management, plant maintenance, finance and controlling, sales and distribution. So our module is integrated with all these modules. So that's why we need to know, if not in depth, but wherever we are getting integrated with other modules, we need to know what is happening in their modules as well. Okay, so that's why. So in in PS, if anybody is going to attend for the interviews, they usually the first question they ask is, so what is your integration knowledge of other modules? Or they may ask you, so how your module is integrated with MM? So what are the steps? So how your PS module is integrated with sales and distributor module? So can you explain the steps? So something similar questions you will be getting in the interview. So during the process, I will be telling you what are all the integration points where exactly we are going to integrate it with the other modules. Okay. So in SAP, there are two types of consultants will be there. So who is a consultant? The consultant is the one who knows everything about the subject, and when you go to the customer's place to provide the solution, you need to understand their requirement and then tailor made the solution in such a way that their requirement is met with your proposal. Okay, so that is consulting, right? So there are two types of consultants available in SAP. One is functional consultant, the other one is technical consultant. So the modules like material management, production planning, sales and distribution, plant maintenance, project system, human capital management, these are all functional modules wherein no technical knowledge is required, meaning to say there is no coding required for our modules to handle, right? So there is no need to do the coding or write some code, nothing related to that. So we are functional consultant. So next question, who is eligible to be a consultant in SAP? So those who are having a relevant experience in the domain. Okay, suppose I say procurement, material management. So who is eligible to work on material management? Usually somebody who worked in a plant as a procurement in charge or procurement manager. So they will be knowing how to procure different materials from different vendors. So that is suitable for them. And when it comes to production planning, so somebody who worked in the production process in the plant, so they'll be eligible or more suitable for this kind of a job. So similarly for the project systems, so the engineers who worked in different locations, maybe. So I think a couple of guys from this group are from civil background, right? So they handled the civil activities of the projects. So like somebody in the construction, somebody in the manufacturing plant. So they are handling the projects. So they are all eligible to work on the project system module. But it's not a hard and fast rule that only the engineers can work on the project system module. So you take me as a classical example. I'm with a botany, zoology, chemistry background. So I did my degree in BSc. Then slowly I moved from customer relationship management, which is sales related, to the project system module. So initially when you start your interaction with the interviewer, so he may be asking, so your qualification is not suiting to this role, but how come you are into this particular module? So then you can give some justification. So we can have some justification related to that. Then once you get into the subject, so they will be forgetting whether you belongs to an engineering background or BSc background or BCom background. So it's all the subject what you are going to speak in the interview that matters. Okay, so don't worry about your qualification. So make sure you are knowing the concepts and be confident while facing the interview. Okay. So then, what is technical consultant? So technical consultant, there are 2 to 3 different modules in SAP wherein they fall under technical consulting skills. So one is ABAP. So ABAP is Advanced Business Application Programming. The program on which SAP runs is ABAP. Okay, so you are going to see the screens of SAP, how that screen is visible. So different fields will be there in the transaction. So the background of all that is developed by ABAPers, Advanced Business Application Program. So for them, the coding skills are required. So the ones who have done their engineering in computers, CSC or IT, so they will be more eligible. And if somebody is having the skill of writing the code, also eligible to do that. So it doesn't mean that I know some guys who did BCom, but they are very much into ABAP because their coding skills are very good. So it's like that. And there is one more module called basis, wherein the SAP servers, the maintenance of SAP servers, maintenance of the users in the SAP, and providing the authorizations to the different users who are working on the SAP system. So it is their responsibility to maintain all that information. So that module is called as basis. Okay. And what else? So we have for BABW also, business intelligence, business warehouse. So that is also technical. Okay. So basically these 2 to 3 modules are technical in nature. So nowadays the system is now working on S4 HANA. So web developers, web user interface developers are also required, and Fiori also. Fiori is also one of the application wherein SAP is available on mobiles. So if you are outside, you are not in the office, you are working somewhere else, still you can access SAP through your mobiles. So that is called as Fiori applications, or you can call them as Fiori tiles. Okay. So this is about the background of different modules. Maybe so during the course we'll be discussing in detail about each of these modules. Whenever we are getting integrated, I will explain more about these modules. Okay. Then so what are the different versions of SAP available? Because so you will be you can see different companies working on different versions of the SAP system, right? So initially when it started, it was called as ECC, Enterprise Core Component. You just remember what is ECC, that's all. And different versions. So there used to be SAP ECC version 3, version 4, version 5, version 6, something like that. Meaning to say, whenever there is new enhancement or new process is getting added, or different processes are getting added to the system, so they used to release a new version of the product. Okay. So like you can see the mobiles also. So iPhone is having different versions, right? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 Pro. So what is the difference between these versions? So some new features are getting added compared to the older version. So SAP also same. So it all starts with, I think, ECC 3. So then 4, 5, 6, 7. So later what they did, they stopped adding the versions. So then they started adding the enhancement packages. Okay. So suppose say some 10 new concepts to be added to the existing version. So instead of bringing a new version like 6 or 7 or 8, they started applying the patches. Meaning to say some 10 new functionalities to be added to SAP server. So instead of new version, they added enhancement packages. So that is called as EHP, enhancement package. Okay. So those times the versions will be called as version 7 EHP 7. Meaning to say under version 7 you have an enhancement package of 7. So something like that. So later, so last 10 years, the current trend is S4 HANA. S4 HANA is a new database for SAP. Okay. So which offers more flexibility and speed. So the speed at which you can handle the transactions, or the speed at which the system can pull or extract the data from the tables. S4 HANA is the latest to this thing. So, Akhilesh, can you go on mute?
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, versions to EHP. Now, once we are into S4 HANA, now they are called as year and month combination. So, S4 HANA version 1819, something like that. Meaning to say, in the year 2019, 7th month, they released the version of S4 HANA. So it is called as 1709. Meaning to say 2017, in the month of September, they released a new version. Okay, so why I am telling all these things? So they might ask in the interviews. So on which version of SAP you worked on this particular project? So that will be maintaining in the in the CV. But still, you need to remember on which version of S4 HANA or SAP ECC you have worked. Okay. So now that process is also stopped. So till from 1617 to up to 1920, so they used to release new versions uh, uh, once in a quarter, something like that, or two times in a year. Okay, so later they stopped. Then now it is only called as year wise, S4 HANA on premise 2021, 2022, 2023, something like that. So it is much more easier for us to remember. Okay, so these are all the different versions of SAP which has the system has evolved. Okay, so we need to have the idea of S4 HANA as well as old systems also, because you never know whether you are going into support projects or implementation projects. If it is implementation projects, so it will be only the latest versions on which you will be working. If it is maintenance projects or support projects, so they might be on different systems, right? So that's why you need to have the exposure to both S4 HANA as well as ECC systems. Okay. Any doubts till now? Are free to ask any doubt. Don't think whether it is silly or.
Sir, what is the latest version currently for S4 HANA? It is 2023 only, right?
2023 on premise.
Oh.
Okay. Anyway, I think Ashish, you missed your introduction.
Yeah, I was there, but I joined from my wife's account, so I guess.
Okay.
So, hi team, myself Ashish this side. I do have 9 years of IT experience. I am already a PS consultant. I am here in this session to just brush up my knowledge on the S4 HANA environment from the PS side. If is there any addition or remove modification is going to happen, or from the table level changes, I just want to understand everything. So that's why I have joined this club.
And even Akhilesh is also a real timer. I think he's having 5 to 6 years of experience. Okay, so then coming to different types of projects in SAP. Okay, what are the different types of projects in SAP? The first one is implementation. So implementation is what? Executing the project from scratch, 0 to 100%. Okay, so those types of projects are called as implementation projects. So in the implementation also, again you have two different types of implementations. One is greenfield, other one is brownfield. So greenfield is like they don't have anything in their company. So it all starts with only SAP. So those types of projects are called as greenfield projects. So there are brownfield projects wherein they are partially exposed to the IT solutions, but not fully onto SAP. So those types of projects are called as brownfield projects. Okay. So while attending the interviews, usually the companies look for the people who has more implementation experience. So if you see, once you get into the job market of SAP, you will see minimum 1 end-to-end implementation required, minimum 2 end-to-end projects implementation experience is required, something like that. So the implementation will have the highest value, or the highest value addition to your CV would be the implementation part. So I know some of my colleagues who are working for last 15 years into SAP, but their implementation experience is like only 2 projects or 3 projects. And I know somebody who are just 3 to 4 years of experience in SAP, but their implementation experience is more than 3 to 4. So in that case, the companies would prefer to go for those guys who are having more implementation experience, because So that is end-to-end process, because you will be knowing everything about a project. So you will be interacting with the customers, you will be taking the requirement, you will be understanding their requirement, and then you will be proposing the solution. You are involved in the discussion about their understanding their process, and then you need to convince them for certain things. They might be demanding so many things which they require in the system, but you have your own limitation, because you know your product, how much it can offer, how many things it can how many things are doable, how many things are not going to be done in the system. So you need, at some point of time, you need to have your soft skills also to convince the customer that only this much is available. So you change your process so that your requirement is met in the system. So all that interactions and skills are required to be a consultant in the implementation. So that's why the job market always considers the implementation experience is the highest level of experience for a consultant. Okay. Then comes the majority of the projects available in the market are maintenance projects. So people who are running on the SAP for the past 20 years. I know some clients, they are running for the past 20-25 years. So they are all established on SAP. So your role is to just maintain the existing processes which are already running, and the day-to-day incidents or the issues which are raised by the user. You need to understand them and then clear them. So that is support project. Okay. So there might be some enhancement, like new reports might be coming up, or some new process to be implemented. So those kind of requirements will be part of your maintenance projects or support projects. We usually call them as support projects. So some people you might be knowing, so they will be telling that last 5 years I am in the same project. Some people, they say last 10 years I am in the same project, meaning to say some big companies, so which are already running on the project on SAP. So if you are into those kind of support projects, so unless until you prefer to come out, so you will be continuously working on the same project. So what is the danger of continuing with one particular company for so long is that you tend to lose your knowledge on other topics, because you are continuously into one company's process. So only that process you are expert, but other than the those processes, so the lot of subject there will be there in PS module. So you tend to lose control over the other subject if you are continuously working on the same client for more number of years. Okay. Then the other type of project is rollouts. So what is rollout? One company is already having SAP. So suppose they acquired a new company. Suppose they had a merger with some other company. So that company is not having SAP, but your company is having SAP. So you want to extend your SAP functionality to the new company what you have acquired. Okay. So if that kind of a scenario is there, those type of projects are called as rollout project, because you are rolling out certain things which are already there in the server from one company to other company. So meaning to say your role is like half of the work is already done, because everything is there in the system. You need to replicate the similar scenario into another company also. So that is called as rollout project. The another important project which is there in the market is upgrade projects. So what is upgrade? So as I told you, some companies are 10 years old, 15 years old on SAP. Now the current trend is S4 HANA. So what SAP is saying, so maybe by 2027 or 2028, they are not going to support the companies who are running all the older versions of SAP. So you are forced to move out from the older version of SAP to the newer version, that is nothing but S4 HANA. So it is like a bigger revenue for SAP, because moving from older version to new version itself is like implementing a new project kind of a thing. So a lot of money is involved. So all the consultants need to be worked, okay, on the project. So that is the current trend. So every majority of the projects now available in the market are either upgrade or implementations. Okay, of course, support will always be there. That is evergreen. So upgrade is moving from the older version to new version. So here also the majority a part of the activities will be taken care by the technical team. So because they need to move the entire process of SAP from previous version to the newer version. So as a functional consultant, it is our duty to check once the system is moved from older system to the newer system, we need to make sure all the processes which are running in the older version are also working on the new version properly without missing anything. So that is the major activity for the functional consultant. And apart from that, some new functionalities which are available in the new version need to be adopted to the business. So based on the requirement. Okay. So these are the different types of projects: implementation, support projects or maintenance projects, rollout projects, and upgrade projects. Clear?
Sir, conversion and upgrade both are same thing, right, sir?
Yes, yes, both are same. So you are converting from older version to new version, so they are also called as conversion projects or upgrade projects. So different terminology, that's all.
Okay, sir.
Okay. What else regarding the basics? Rajesh, anything missing? In the basics, what else can we tell?
Oh.
Okay. So, can you check your mails whether you got that link from WeTransfer or not? So, there I sent PLM books, Project Lifecycle Management. So, our module used to be under a folder called PLM, Project Lifecycle Management. So, the book names starts with PLM 200, PLM 210, PLM 220, 230, 235, 240. 5 books I sent. Okay, and the new versions of the same books are also available in S4 HANA. So that also I will be sending. So you might see another Word document of the same PLM, because those study materials will have the exercises given after each topic which you are going to perform on the system. Okay, so I have provided the screenshot of the solutions. So suppose he has given one exercise asking you to create one project, one WBS element or network, or assign the material, something like that. So I captured everything with the help of a screenshot, so that if you are missing something, you can take a reference of that document as well. So that if anything is missed, you can refer to the document and then you can perform on the system. So that's why I sent both. One is in the PDF form, so that is the SAP material. The other one is in Word form. So that is nothing but the solution for the exercises given in the SAP books. Okay. So projects, types of projects are done. This one is done. Versions is also discussed. So, but we will be knowing in detail about all these things once you get into the system. So, you have any general doubts related to SAP, you can ask me, or project systems or anything.
Sir, I have one query.
Yes.
Sir, in this course, is there any possibility to get one implementation project, sir? Because we are from the scratch, right? So, is there any possibility, sir?
Implementation project means I can give you the real-time project data, like the business blueprint I can give, so that you can try to implement the same thing in your practice system.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is as good as the real time only, because I'll be referring to whenever a particular topic is getting discussed, I'll be referring to the real time scenario. So how I did this topic, or how I handled this particular topic in my previous projects. So that itself can give you that, oh, okay, this can be done in this way. So in the meantime, I will be sending some screenshots of the real time servers also, which I am working on. Currently working on, right? So I'm working on a couple of projects. One is Mitsubishi America, the other one is Sabic Saudi Arabia, So one is into oil and gas, the other one is into equipment manufacturer. So whenever a relevant real-time data is required, I will be sending those screenshots so that you can relate. So what is that I explained in the test server and what is there in the real-time environment.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else having any doubts or clarifications? Mohan Sai, are you there? Mohan Sai Konjeti, you are there, but you are not speaking. No. Oh, some issue with the audio. Okay, no problem. So from Monday onwards, we'll get into the subject. Okay.
So we may get a project involvement, like a scope document or like a fit gap analysis and like prerequisite documents or the project related documents.
Okay. See, once you are exposed to the subject, then that time I will explain you what is SAP methodology. If I explain SAP methodology right now, you might not be understanding what is happening in the project, right? So once you get some knowledge about the subject, like different modules, then I can discuss, because that I kept that as a last part of the course curriculum. So by that time, you will be knowing what are the different modules, how the implementation environment will be there. So that time, either SAP methodology or whatever methodology you are saying, I can explain. So what are the different activities involved in each phase of those implementation, I can explain. Okay.
Okay.
And what are the important deliverables in each of those phases? So that also I will explain.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. From Monday onwards, we will be directly jumping into the subject. Okay. So what else? So in the meantime, you just download them. So if possible, you can start with PLM 200 book. That gives some introduction to what is SAP, what is project system module. So till first topic, you can go through that. Okay. So I propose whenever I complete one particular topic, you make sure you are completing the practice of that particular topic on the day itself. If you are postponing, then it will pile up. Okay. So you complete that practice and then come back next day morning with whatever doubts you are having. We'll have some 5 to 10 minutes discussion on the doubts and the practice what you have done. Then we'll proceed to the topic. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Sir, I have a question.
yes.
So which type of server you are using there to practice?
So I think I have given the contact number of one of the guy. So it is I think S4 HANA only, but still you can have the ECC look and feel also. So both are available. So S4 HANA.
Because sir, if the interviewer will ask about the ECC, if you will practice on HANA server, then there will be problematic. Can't answer the question.
No. See, for project system, no difference between the current version and the previous versions. Nothing. You can say only 1 or 2% difference. That too, the look and feel. That's all. Features wise, everything remains same compared to previous version and current version.
So, because ECC server they are using T codes, right? But in Fiori we are using the dashboard.
No. Fiori also you can use both, either T codes or Fiori applications. Both are possible. So it's not that only Fiori available, but not there is no T codes. No.
Okay.
If you want to use, you can use Fiori. If you don't want to use, you can still use the transaction codes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any other doubts? Okay then. See you on Monday. And then we'll be having the classes from Monday to Friday. Okay, 2 days for your what to say practice, and then other these things. Clear?
All right, sir.
Sir, I
Sir,
have
how
one
many
question.
days?
Yeah. Yeah, Ramya.
Sir, most of the interviewers are asking why you chose the SAP PS environment, because SAP has different modules. So, what we need to give the explanation to the interviewer, sir?
You just tell me one of my uncle is into PS, so I am also into PS. Yeah, see, there is somewhere you need to get inspired, or you have taken that decision to come into SAP. So that doesn't mean that if I am into sales, there is no hard and fast rule that I will be only into sales and distribution, right? So how I came into project system, because that time my company was not having any projects on CRM, so they pushed me into project system. So it was there was no option for me. So for survival, I need to get into PS, and then from there I picked up PS. But some like that, you can also have your own justification why you choose to come into project system. Okay, so
Okay.
you can cook up some stories. So those are all only initial what to say first 2 to 3 minutes of discussion. That's all. After that, once you are good in subject, they are not bothered about all these things.
Okay.
Okay.
So, sir, how many days it will take to complete this course?
Approximately 40 hours is required actually. So every month, even if you are covering 22 hours, so mostly 1.5 months to 2 months, you should be in a position to complete it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
But 40 hours for explanation only. But practice wise, you need to consider another into 3. So minimum 120 to 150 hours of practice is required.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so if you are listening to subject, you feel that everything is fine, I understood. But once you start practicing, then only all the doubts will come. Okay, so that is the only thing where to remember the subject. You practice it, get the errors, try to resolve them, then only you will remember the subject. Okay. Anything else? Okay, fine then. See you on Monday. Okay, please download them because the link is going to expire in couple of days. So download those documents and then save them on your laptop or desktop, whatever. Okay. So if you are not finding it in box, please check them in spam as well. We transfer WETRANSFER. So that is the site from where you will get the hyperlink. Clear?
No, sir, it's still not showing in my inbox, neither in
Yeah, I didn't send you because you are already having the data, right?
Oh, so the same books, right? Not for the
Same.
HANA. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
All right, sir. Okay.
Okay, even Akhilesh also I didn't send. Who else?
All right.
Yeah. Whoever is already having the data, yeah, I think Priya got. Priya, I think you are asking something.
I asked it already, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay then.
Thank you, sir.
See you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Happy
Thank you,
weekend.
sir.